What do I think he could have done more?
Pro boxing fans, here in Riyadh again with my friend Teddy Atlas. Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk, December 21st in Riyadh. I want to ask you, Peter Fury, who's the uncle of Tyson, also was in Tyson's trainer for the Klitschko fight, did an interview with October Red Boxing the other day and said that, look, maybe the game plan was a little bit wrong, maybe there was a few too many voices. In your eyes, do you feel like Tyson's game plan changed during the fight? And secondly, what does he need to do to rectify going into the rematch in December?
I thought he fought a hell of a fight. I'm not going to be critical. Who am I to be critical? I thought they fought. I thought that the two of them made themselves proud, their people proud, the sport proud, really, and they brought worthiness to the effort that everyone put together to make this fight. Obviously, starting with Turkey Al-Sheikh, where all the resources, everything it took to bring this fight together, to bring the promoters, the fighters together, they made it worthwhile. They made it by their efforts in that ring that night, by what they did, by going to the places they went. I often say in my own way about fighters that fighters are explorers. And people say, what do you mean explorers then? They're explorers. They explore areas that regular people sometimes never explore. Like they go to places that other people don't go to. And they find things by going to those places. They explore. They go a little further. They go a little further. And I said on my podcast after the fight about that fight, I said it was like whether it was I don't know. I wasn't always good at going to school. Sometimes I'd be, skipping out on school. So that's why I'm not as smart as I should have been, or could have been maybe, because I didn't always go to class when I should. But either Magellan, or Columbus, whichever one you believe, discovered that the Earth's not flat. Okay, that much I got, and the only reason those people discovered that was they, as explorers, they had the guts, they had the desire, they had the calling to go further than the people before them went. And by going further, they found out that this great Earth of ours, of course, is not flat. And then other people could follow them and go further. Well, to me, that's what they did that night. That's the best way I could describe it. That these two fighters went further than normally people go. And by going further, they discovered places they had never been before. And they teach us all that you can go further. When we watch an effort like that, an event like that, just a great fight like that, we walk away saying, oh, wow. Those guys, they went beyond what they came here thinking they were going to have to do. And it kind of teaches us that there's always somewhere more you can go. There's always a little more. And I don't know if they can come close to duplicating that in the rematch, but I am grateful for that night. Sitting there ringside, I was grateful with my son and appreciative for the sport in a whole, that we could get that kind of night that benefited everybody, benefited people in general, benefited the sport, benefited the fighters. I am not here to knock anything about either one, obviously either one, but definitely also not Tyson Fury. He fought his heart out. What do I think he could have done more? It's not for me, really, because his trainers do a good job. And they did a good job. But the only thing is that jab obviously had to be a big part of it, which everyone knew, I thought, and I said before the fight, control the outside. I just thought maybe, again, to coin one of my phrases that I always would say, maybe you could have ate a little more off the jab. You set the table with the jab, and then what do? You eat. You eat with the right hand. You eat with what? I thought maybe he could have ate with the uppercut a little more. It was very effective, especially at the end of the sixth. Maybe he could have used it a little more. Maybe he could have maybe he could have done a little more with the jab, off the jab. He could have ate a little bit more when he set the table with the jab. And when you don't eat, well, do you come from a big family? If you come from a big family, you're gonna understand what I'm about to say. If you don't eat, someone else will eat what's on the table. so when you set the table with your jab against a hungry fighter like Usyk, and you don't eat, guess what? He's gonna eat the meal. He ain't gonna leave it for you to eat. And I think maybe a little bit of that happened, but there's one thing I was confused about, because people said that I guess Tyson, I didn't pay attention to the whole thing, I just watched the fight, but that Tyson said he should have went after him more, whatever, he would have went after him more at the end. Hey, whether he knows it or not, because he got hurt in the ninth so badly, not too many fighters could have come back from that, but he did go after it. I was shocked to hear him say that, because I'm watching a fight and I'm saying, hey Tyson, you're not giving yourself enough credit, because in that 11th and 12th round, you didn't just try to survive. A lot of fighters would have just survived the beating it took in the ninth, but he didn't. He went after it. And of course so did Usyk. But there's no way he didn't go after it. He went after it and he tried to win those rounds, and they were close. And look, Usyk won the fight. He deserved it. He earned it. But Tyson Fury also earned the respect for what he did.
Just a quick one on this one. In regards to the mental side of things, Oleksandr Usyk must, right at this present time, must be feeling at the top of the world. For Tyson, is it more about getting the mental side right? Because we know physically he's a generational talent. He's one of the best of this era. He's done everything he needed to do, but this rematch is in the way. Do you feel like that could be the thing that he might need to work on, is the mental side more than the physical?
Oni, I've been in this business 50 years. The mental side is always the most important. I don't care who the combatants are. I don't care who they are. The mental side is always the most. 75% of it is mental. So yes, I'm not saying he wasn't right mentally. I thought he was right mentally, to be honest. But going into this fight, rematch or any fight, for boxing, the mental side is always the most important.
Teddy Atlas, I do appreciate your time as always. It's always been a pleasure to sit down with yourself and your son Teddy Jr. We will be seeing you at the press conference in an hour and a half, which is quite close. Thank you very much for your time, and I'll speak to you very soon.
I always have time for good people.
Teddy Atlas, you're a star. Thank you very much.